Hello, everyone. This is Father Son Galaxy. I am Kerwin, and this is Keith. Thank you so much
Hello.
for joining us. We're going to do, have a little bit of fun with this episode. Keith has been a little over a year ago when we went to see Captain America: Brave New World, and we did a
True.
spoiler review for this film. It was not one of our favorite films, to say the least. But something that you said that we took and made it into a short that for some reason lit YouTube on fire. Now, what I mean by that is we put this short out about 8 months ago, and up to today, as we're recording, this short has been viewed over 130,000 times. We have about 300 comments and counting. To this day, we're still getting comments about your short that you made 8 months ago. And basically, the short is about who's more qualified to take on Cap's shield? Is it Sam or Bucky? All right. So we
Hmm.
have that. If you have not seen the short, we have it. We're going to run it right now for you. And then after we run the short, we'll come back and talk about it. Let's see if we have that short ready. All right. There you go. So that's it. Lasted no more than 30 seconds, but for some reason, this excited the people on YouTube and people had comments. It was kind of split in the middle between people who thought Sam was made the better Captain America, or Bucky may have been a better Captain America. So let's talk about it. So first, thank you for the comments. I mean, we're really appreciated. We had no
Hmm.
idea that this short was going to caused this much attention. A couple of comments that I saw, Keith, was one person said, uh, God, this is uncomfortably dorky. Kind of love it. Talking about us, kind of love it. So, we'll take that as a compliment. One person says, I love every time this pops up. It's awesome seeing a father and son doing a podcast, especially with how little man speaks and carries himself. Keep up the great work and the success you deserve. That's very cool. And then there's another comment that says, seeing little black boys get to be happy to be as dorky, there's that word again, and nerdy as they want, and then have them praise, rightfully so, for this obscure nerd knowledge really makes my grown self cry. Never stop being you, young man. So kudos to you, Keith. So let's start. All right. So we have some comments about people who thought Sam was actually the person who was better qualified to be Captain America. We got one person that says Sam is always the superior choice. Giving the shield to Bucky would have been extremely problematic for a variety of reasons. He was still in the middle of trying to resolve serious mental health issues and fallout from years as the Winter Soldier. Also, why are people so quick to hate on Sam? He's been doing pretty decent as the new Captain America. Great? No, not necessarily, but I've enjoyed the majority of what they've been doing with him so far. Keith, will you have any comments on that?
I mean, I never hated on Sam. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be Captain America. I'm just saying it would have been nice if Bucky got the shield for a little bit. And also, it's not like people hate Bucky because he had enough good favor to become a congressman in Thunderbolts. So he can't have been like in that poor public standing that if he became Captain America it would have been a problem because he got into politics anyway.
Yeah, good point. Right. Um, yeah. So someone else said we needed Bucky. Um, should Bucky have been Captain America? Sam was doubting himself, his ability to do his job, and even why Steve chose him to take the mantle of Captain America. As in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when Bucky was going through similar doubts, because for him the shield represented family. Him and Steve have been like brothers. Sam helped him come to terms with his past and his true self. Bucky did pretty much the same as Sam, and Sam let him know that even with the super soldier serum, Steve was still unable to save all those he cared about. Okay. So, yes, Sam was capped during the new era where they introduced Black and female versions of all their original characters. The intention of these characters was to bring them to the big screen for diversity purposes. We'll talk about this, not to make good comic characters. And that is why characters like Ironheart, America Chavez, Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, etc., were brought to the MCU despite being unpopular in the comics. People keep using this as evidence, but I don't think people know why Sam was picked. I want to talk about this comment as far as diversity. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, Marvel wanted to diversify their characters, so they wanted to have people of color playing not necessarily the exact same character, but variations of existing characters, which I don't have a problem with. As far as popularity, I can't say that for sure whether someone like Ms. Marvel or Sam as Captain America or Captain Marvel were popular in the comics. I think the issue that we had with them coming to the MCU on the big screen is that maybe they didn't have the best material. Maybe it wasn't well written or well produced or directed. And it's unfortunate that it's happening to these characters of color. I don't know, but I still, I would never say, I don't want to see someone, a diverse character playing a superhero, whether it's an original or a superhero that's already established in the comics. Um, People want to see themselves represented on the screen. All right. Now, what we have to do is just get better writers, better story material, better characterizations. And I think, that wouldn't be an issue. I don't think anybody would be talking about, diverse characters. If Captain America made $1 billion, we wouldn't be having this discussion. What do you think?
I think that's a pretty fair argument, but also this was how they had Sam be Cap during the whole, all new, all different thing. I don't actually see a problem with that. Like I know it was a diversity initiative and all that, but I don't see anything wrong with them introducing new legacy characters. I think the problem was most of the writing for them, for example, Ironheart, just wasn't good. But it's not like they didn't have their gems. I mean, Miles Morales is the obvious choice because they literally did like a whole event just to bring him into the 616 universe in the mainline comics. But at the same time, Sam Wilson being brought into the MCU gives him a new opportunity because he is probably the biggest legacy character that they have in the MCU right now to bring in a lot more. And that'd be nice, but also I'm gonna maintain my point of view that it would have been cool if even in like a little mini series they gave Bucky the shield and they had him give it back to Sam.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit this again. Anthony Mackie is a very good actor. I At this point, I'd say that he made a better Falcon. I really enjoyed his performance, his the chemistry that he had with Captain America, um, you know, with the Sebastian Stan. It I thought the three of them, especially in Captain America: Civil War, really did a very good job representing their characters. Um, as Captain America, yeah, I do want to continue to see Sam as Captain America, but I think maybe he just didn't have the best material in the film the Captain America film that was made. I don't think he had the best material, but that doesn't mean that he can't carry his own movie. He absolutely can. Just need again some more creative writing on the filmmaker's part.
No, I just agree with you. That's it.
Okay. So now we have some people who are actually for Bucky, Team Bucky. We got one comment that says, I've always believed that Bucky should have been Captain America after he was his best friend from childhood. They grew up together and Steve knew him better than anybody. He fought like
Mm.
him. He had the same powers as Steve, and he was the only one that could have done what he did.
I
What do you
agree.
think about that?
And to that
Yeah.
point, I know that Sam does have the serum, so they gave him all the tech and stuff to kind of balance that out. But imagine if they took all that tech and gave it to Bucky, who already has the super soldier serum. Like, wouldn't that have been wild to think about? Like, Red Hulk would have been no problem if you have Bucky Barnes with his years of combat experience in a full armor nanotech suit with the shield, just throwing hands with the president.
Yeah. How about that? All right. Okay. So now we got another comment says, I mean, the Winter Soldier and Captain America are basically the same characters, similar powers. Falcon just has such a unique tech and don't know why Sam, became Captain America. You know, someone else said the same thing. Another comment is they couldn't let Falcon be Falcon. They had to make him someone else, and it didn't really do anything for him except make him less cool. Like I said, I, you know, Mackie gave a better performance as Falcon because I think he had better material, better written scripts during the Captain America films. Um, but again, you know, when it came to his own film, him as Captain America playing the lead, he just didn't have that type of um, strong writing and characterization. So I don't blame the actor at all for that.
I agree. Because there's only so much that an actor can do to elevate a performance if they're working with bad material. Like Love and Thunder, you took Christian Bale and put him in probably the worst MCU movie, and he did his best, but he couldn't save that film. I'm not. Brave New World is nowhere near that bad, but it is a good example of how you can have a great actor work with a bad script and not get that great acting. You know.
Yeah. All right.
Mm.
So
Okay, let's get some
here's
wild comments.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some wild comments. I mean, we can't go through all of them, but I recall someone mentioning they thought we were a deep fake or we were AI and we should be ashamed of ourselves.
I mean,
Putting this video together, I had no idea. Yeah. Did you
unless they
AI
know
generate
something
a
I
fake
don't, I'm
podcast?
pretty sure I'm not an
Absolutely.
AI.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know where that came from, but we are
Yeah.
absolutely real. All right. So thank you for your comment. All right. So another controversy, something that you said that people were not in agreement with. Well, some were, some weren't. So maybe you can help us clear it up. So this has to do with how long Steve and Bucky have been fighting together. So you mentioned that they've been fighting, if I understand you correctly, they've been fighting for about 100 years. So someone commented, okay, so the comment about Steve and Bucky have not been fighting together for over 100 years. True, they knew each other during World War II, although Bucky was a teen sidekick, Cap's version of Robin. Add to that Cap was frozen in ice for decades. I don't remember Bucky's original storyline before the Winter Soldier storyline, but the fact is they did not fight together all those years.
Yeah.
So can you
Okay.
clarify what you meant by them knowing each other or fighting together for 100 years?
So it's semantics. I said fighting instead of knew each other, which is, just a word slip. But the meaning
Okay.
is still the same. They knew about each other's existence for a good 100 years. And then I guess we'll detract like what it was the 40s, so we'll take out 70 years from that timeline between them being kids and 2023 when Endgame happened. That's still a good like 20 years worth of bonding time compared to the 10 years that Sam would have with Steve. And then you got to take half of that off because he got blipped. So, like 5 years of time together.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And then something else that you mentioned, so we want to, talk about it, was Bucky Captain America before Sam. Um, One person wrote, "You're wrong about Bucky being Cap before Sam." That being said, I agree with everything else he said. And then somebody else wrote, also, though Steve and Bucky have been friends since childhood, they had not even in the comics, fight alongside one another for 100 years. Okay, we talked about that already. Up until the Winter Soldier came into the picture, Steve thought that Bucky was dead. Speaking of Bucky, check out his historical backstory. Um, so tell me where you got the information or you got the, uh, why do you think Sam or Bucky was Captain America before Sam?
Waiting for this one. You're wrong. Bucky was Cap before Sam because he became Captain America following the Civil War event where Steve Rogers died. He was only Captain America for like about a year and he hated it and he gave up the shield, which is pretty much why I wanted him to be Cap because it would have been a pretty short thing. Sam would have been Cap on pretty much the same timeline that he is now. I just think it would have been cool, but you know. And then in 2014, Sam Wilson got the shield during the all new, all different campaign. So
Okay. So again, so you're saying that it was Sam who was Cap first.
Bucky was Cap first.
Bucky was Cap first. Okay. And that was back in what year was Bucky Cap?
2007,
Okay. And then Sam became Captain America when?
2014.
2014. Okay. So what's the confusion then? Why do people think it's the other way around?
I don't know. They might have just not read the comics.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Okay. All right. And then I think there was one more where someone wrote, except the first time that Sam wore the suit was in 1970, and the second time was in 1998. Both times Bucky was canonically dead. In the comics, Sam and Steve were friends for years, but Steve and James Buchanan, Bucky, were only friends for a year or two maximum.
Okay,
What do
well,
you think
I'm
about
referring
that?
to the MCU as far as the timeline of them being friends. And secondly, did he wear the suit or did he take on the mantle? Because there's a difference between like if you played the PS5 Miles Morales game, Miles took over as Spider-Man while Peter was on vacation, as compared to in Into the Spider-Verse when Peter died, Miles became the new Spider-Man.
Got it. Okay. All right. All right. Well, like I said, this says it's controversial. I had no idea this was going to happen, but
I didn't
it's
know it was like that.
yeah, so people have opinions about Sam and Bucky. Um, I think, well, the next time we're going to see Sam is in Doomsday, right? Which is at the end of the year. So maybe, people may have a different opinion about Sam as Captain America when that movie comes out. Now, speaking of films, all right. So the Oscars, all right. We are recording on the 9th. The Oscars is coming this Sunday, March 15th. I am still hopeful that we will finally get a trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't know if we're going to get one, but it's really 4 months from the time the movie opens. So we should have a trailer by now. And at this point, we still know nothing about the movie.
And I want another trailer for Daredevil Born Again. Um, did they release any like nominations for the like superhero genre?
No, no, not really. Well, yes. Well, I think, see, I don't have the nominations in front of me, Keith, but yeah, I think maybe Fantastic Four might have gotten a nomination for visual effects. Don't get me wrong. It's one of those technical awards. I know you're looking at me. Maybe that's not true. I don't have it in front of me. Um, yeah, I know there aren't that many superhero films getting nominations this year for Oscars. So
Yeah.
um, we're not going to see that. But again, I'm just hoping. I expect we'll probably see maybe a final trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu since the movie is coming out in May. Um, that's probably a sure thing, but I don't think I think it's still too early to see anything from Avengers Doomsday. Um, Supergirl, maybe, is that possible? I
Perhaps.
don't know. Yeah,
Mm.
perhaps. Okay. All
When are
right.
the
Well,
Emmys?
yeah. Well, again, we just wanted to just come on and just talk about this short and the controversy. But again, we love it. Keep those comments coming. We just ask that you be respectful with the comments, but I am going through them and I'm trying to respond to as many comments as I can. But there are, excuse me, but there are a lot of comments. So, but keep them coming. Thank you so much, everybody. for joining us on this episode. Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Publishing Galaxy. Our website is publishinggalaxy.com. Please donate to our Patreon page, patreon.com/publishinggalaxy.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Once again, this is just our comment section regarding a short that um, Keith has, turned the internet upside down and YouTube. And so kudos to you, Keith. Keep up the good work. All right. Thanks, buddy. All right. So got a lot of stuff coming. Daredevil Born Again. We got Darth Maul coming. So you'll see more of us in the coming weeks. So until next time, take care and we will see you
And we
again.
will see you again.